Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ron Wilson.
And thank you. Oh, no, thank you. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man's death diminishes me because I am a part of mankind. So therefore, never sentinel for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. This was written by John Donne about 1600 AD. That's right. It describes basically how we are related to one another. And in those days, in the agrarian economy that we were, the bell tolled 3 times in your life. Once when you were born, once when you were married. Some of you, it may be more times than that, but once when you were married, and once when you died. And that's the way the entire town knew of you, but it was saying that there is some connectedness. Take this 400 years later. Here you are, Ron Wilson. Either your kid is on MySpace, or if you're a professional like myself, you're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, when I wrote this speech, I had 160 people that were directly linked to me. Wow, now that I finally got to do this speech, I have 190 people that are linked to me. What does that mean? That means that there are 28,000 people that are within 2 degrees of me. And it means that there's almost 2 million people that are within 3 degrees of me. Wow. They claim that within 6 degrees you can find anybody. Take that for a moment and ponder it and realize that is there very much that goes on in today that is solely done by yourself? You know, when I look in the mirror in the morning, I can see, wow, you were chairman of the March of Dimes for Douglas, or for Cobb County. I was also president of the Lockheed Management Association, had 3,000 members. I was also president of Leadership Douglas in Douglas County. Here again, prestigious positions. But how many times has it been that people have seen Ron Wilson not for who he was, but for who he could turn out to be? I guess the first time that I realized this was an incident with my parents, not at the graduation from college, but at the beginning of my college. You see, neither of my parents had a high school education. As a matter of fact, for 5 generations down, as far as they could count, there wasn't anyone that had a high school education. They saw, in their perspective, that if they could get their son, Ron, through high school, they had done a major thing. Now, there was problems along the way. Why were there problems? Well, I could have gone to a tech school, learned something valuable like how to repair an automobile engine, or a little bit about heating and air conditioning. Instead, I was on this college prep stuff. What was this? I mean, calculus? What good will this do their son? What was wrong with their son? They still went along with the game, and here was graduation time, and here I graduated. They were pleased because they had met their chief and primary goal. However, what they didn't see was their son wanting to go to college. Well, why would you want to go to college? That's just learning some more of that calculus stuff, right? I mean, you're never going to be anything until you learn how to do something. A trade is what you need. Well, we had quite a few discussions. Among them was money, and they explained that they didn't have any money to give me, and that perhaps I had set my sights at too lofty of a position in life. So I was worried about it, but I decided I'm going to go to Purdue University, and I had decided the day that I was going to go and register and get started out. Remember, registering, I didn't have any family that could tell me what registering was all about. Didn't have anyone to talk about what classes I should take. So all of this was somewhat new to me and somewhat daunting, because there's no way that you can have people tell you that this is too big of a goal for you in life without eventually you sort of believing it. Well, the day came, I rushed home from work, I worked a half a day. I knew I needed to get out there to school right away because registration took forever. You're in long lines, you never did know whether you could get done or not. And lo and behold, I walk in hoping that my parents were not going to be around because I needed to get out of there. But here was this brown paper sack, and it was sitting on the kitchen table. And I looked around, and there was my mother, and she was dressed up in one of her nice Sunday dress. And I'm wondering, what's going on here? She announces to me that she's going to go with me to registration. I said, but Mom, there's no place for you to sit. You're standing in lines. You never do know how long it's going to be. You'll miss supper. She pointed to the table where the brown paper sack was. And she announced that she planned to go and sit in the car and wait for me. I thought it was a little silly at the time. She did get into the car. Yes, she did stay 2 or 3 hours. I forgot how long. Yes, she did eat the lunch from her sack that she had. But most importantly, she said to me that even though I don't quite understand where you're going, even though I don't understand the path that you're going to get there, I support you, Ron. And I must admit that today it still occurs. There's people here, you in Toastmasters, that have encouraged me in my plight to be a better speaker. Thank you for that brown paper sack you have provided for me today. Thank you.